Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another stream on Fantasy Football Scout. Today, we'll look at my Game Week 13 transfer plans. I'll run you through how I'm currently getting on in Game Week 12. We're doing really, really well. And I'll speak a lot about free hit, I'm sure, this Game Week, Gianni, won't we?
I reckon there's going to be, I don't know, I did a poll the other day, 40% on watching my YouTube channel at the time, we're going to free hit game week 13. So there's going to be a ton of chips in play. Obviously, a lot of them that aren't will be on triple captain HAALAND. But then there'll also be a load that have already used their chips. But yeah, mate, game week 13 is massive because free hits in play, triple captaincy in play, loads going on. I mean, top line, before we have a look at your team, just go on and look at your team next week. What are you thinking of doing? Like, are you using a chip?
No chips for myself, I don't think, for this particular game week. Again, do let us know if you can see and hear us all right, and we'll adjust accordingly. But no, I don't think I'll be going into this game week using anything, unfortunately. I just have the bench boost remaining, and I'm more than happy to only have that with, 5 or 6 game weeks remaining until we get the second round of our chips back.
Wait, when did you free hit then?
I free hit in game week 4 or 6. It gained me
Man, I missed
45
that.
points. Yeah, I gained 45 points on my normal team, which was an amazing game week. And again, it's always team dependent. I wouldn't say it's a good or bad week to necessarily use your free hit, particularly when this is a season where you get to use it on single game week. So I'll be going into this game week with 3 free transfers and £0 in the bank. Again, I don't think my team is particularly well set up for next week. Again, I'll get your opinion on that, Gianni. But anyway, it's been a while, Gianni. We didn't stream last game week and we had an international break. Let's do a little catch up. How are we getting on and how are you set up for game week 12? I mean, I can't remember what your moves were.
Yeah, I went really template on my move. I went Gabriel out for Van Dijk, which obviously didn't work straight away. But I guess we don't judge that transfer for a few weeks because you bring in Van Dijk for the long run and you hope that eventually clean sheets come, although it doesn't look like they will. I was tempted to go Semenyo out to Bruno. I didn't have I only had one free transfer, so I wasn't sure which one to do. I was willing to hide Gabriel on the bench for a week or two. I wanted to see who was going to come in for Gabriel, and we've seen Hincape gets the nod over Mosquera because I did think whoever comes in, if he's there for 2 months, could be a good call. He's 5.4 million. But yeah, I ended up not going Semenyo because I thought he'd start. I did think Semenyo was going to start, so got that one wrong and had Mukiele coming off the bench, which I was happy playing Mukiele, which is why I ended up keeping Semenyo. It was like had a good first sub. And until the 84th minute, Mukiele was on double digits because he was on bonus and clean sheet. But then Raul Jimenez scored with 6 minutes to go. But Fulham deserved the win. Can't complain. Mukiele still got me 4 points. Got DEFCON as he always seems to. So yeah, all right. Game week really held up by the fact I've got Minter. Minter's 11 points were massive. I'm inside the top million, but I don't like looking at rank too much when there's still loads to play. Obviously, I captain HAALAND. Where did you go with the armband? I mean, HAALAND 1.46 XG. I was in the scout members area this morning. Could have had 3 penalties, didn't get a single one, and then clocked high XG. So I feel like the decision there was fine, but the outcome was terrible.
Yeah, overall a very low scoring game week. First off, hello everyone in chat. Good to see you, Derek, Atom, Heather, Osgar. We'll try get to as many questions as possible towards the end of the stream. But for now, bear with us for a second, and I'll talk you through my game week 12 team, Gianni, and some of my decisions going into the game week. I think quickly before I bring it up. It is an interesting game week. A lot of people decided to go against Haaland, even though there are a large amount of managers who decided to go elsewhere with the likes of Osaka. We're still seeing around 180% EO with Erling Haaland, and that brings me on to my game week 12 captain, which you won't be surprised on that I didn't go with Erling Haaland, but I am currently 100k in the world again from 320k, which is an amazing feat. We're currently 49 points with 2 to play, Jurriën Timber and Bruno Fernandes. First off, before I get into some of my...
No, that must be Bruno captain, right? Come on.
No, I wish it was Mo Salah. So captaincy
Oh.
didn't go my way this game week. I actually thought Mo Salah was quite good in the sense of how he played in particular. Liverpool as a whole, very, very poor. I did watch the game start to finish. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to talk you through my transfer plans for game week 11 going into 12. So I had a decision to make with 3 free transfers and 1.3 million in the bank, and I decided to play it safe, just go from Eze up to Bruno Fernandes. Now, Eze is of course starting versus Tottenham, and there's probably is a game with goals, you wouldn't be surprised, but I'm more than happy to have a player from Monday Night Football in Bruno, which I do think will tick away quite nicely. The other decision for me was whether or not I wanted to get rid of João Pedro or Enzo / Jurrien Timber. Now, I actually spoke about getting rid of Jurrien Timber for Virgil van Dijk. Now, I know in hindsight, we're looking at Virgil and Liverpool in general going, they are absolutely crap. Why would you bring them in? And again, I actually haven't changed my thought process on why I might eventually move to Virgil again. It is interesting because, DEFCON really changes things in my mind, and Jurrien Timber got another price rise last night. Again, if they do keep a clean sheet today, maybe my mind might be changed, but as things stand, I'm still looking towards Virgil van Dijk. I still feel with the fixtures that they have to come, and with him consistently getting DEFCON and always being a good goal threat, I can't help but look in that direction. Anyway, other than that, I looked at, the likes of a Thiago, which I didn't do because I wanted to hold on to Enzo and João Pedro. So overall, let me run you through my picks. So on goal, we got Nick Pope, a 3 at the back in Anderson, Richards and Timber, 5 in midfield in Bruno, Anderson, Salah, Sarr and Enzo, and 2 up top with Haaland and João Pedro. What went well this game week? Well, the double up on the Andersons. Joachim Anderson.
Can we change your name to FPL Anderson?
Yeah, it's been an amazing ride so far. First off, on Elliot Anderson, what a player! I've watched him for 4 weeks consistently now for Forest, even when Forest were in a bit of a slump, and he is just consistently amazing. Not particularly from an FPL point of view. Again, a small bit of fortune.
He's starting for England. He's now first choice for England. He will probably start for England in a World Cup. As a Nottingham Forest player, with no disrespect, that rarely happens. You don't get Forest players starting for their country, not for England in a World Cup. So all the competition England have got in midfield. Adam Wharton's amazing. Can't get a look in. He is the real deal, isn't he?
He is amazing. It's just little things from an actual player when he's so aggressive. It's the weight of pass for me, the little touches, and then he's phenomenal, and he's on set pieces again. That's what we seen yesterday. An assist from a corner, small bit of a deflection, which is a bit fortunate again, but he's always going to create chances. He is always going to get DEFCON, getting 10 before half time against Liverpool.
Wow.
He is a machine. And what I find is interesting is, he's Forest, in my opinion, best player. Currently, best on form anyway. I'd imagine Sean Dyche is going to try wrap cotton wool around him. So I've no worries on his minutes going forward. I think he is a 90-minute man. He's a machine. Let's speak about the other Anderson who picked up a 10-pointer.
Before you move on away from Forest Anderson, how many times... No, okay, let me rephrase and play at home. What is his lowest DEFCON this season? What number did he hit his lowest? He's played in all 12 games. What was his lowest DEFCON?
I'm going to say 10.
Yeah. He's had double digit. He's had 10 as his lowest. He pretty much gets it every week.
Exactly.
Mad.
And then I was listening to Solio Analytics, who has JC and Prass on it, and also James featured, who does all the modelling for Solio Analytics. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with that, Gianni. We don't speak about it much on here. But anyway, the discussion
I know it because of Praz, and I'm sure it's great. But yeah, I've never logged onto a model in my life.
Great watch.
It's just not what I like. But all due respect to it, it looks amazing. From what I've heard, everyone's raving about it.
Yeah, so they're speaking about Elliot Anderson and how, the percentage chance of him hitting DEFCON. It's hard to distinguish, if he's getting 10 at a minimum, does that mean he has an equal chance to getting 11, 12? And it turns out he does. Getting 11 or 12 is the same probability. So, and same as 13. It's only when it starts getting higher, I'm fairly sure, if I got a good takeaway from that anyway. But anyway, he is a monster of a player. And at 5.3 million, a player we spoke about so much in pre-season, at 5.5 million, and it looks like Forest are turning the corner. So, I think he's a great value asset. Again, I started him versus Liverpool. You have to look at my decisions this game week. I could have played Rodon, I could have played Mukiele, and I also could have played Mark Guy, of course, which I was never going to do. But there was a decision to be made there going away to Liverpool. I decided to go Anderson, and again, worked out in my favour. So I was very, very happy with that. The other Anderson, of course, who didn't feature on international break, scored a 10-pointer, which again, just Fulham look solid but not great in a sense where they're kind of struggling this season. But you can always kind of, I feel, kind of back the Fulham defence. And now, especially when Anderson is just so good on the DEFCON. Richards, who got taken off on the 83rd minute, again, he would have been on for bonus. And also DEFCON, I believe he hit 8 DEFCON before being subbed off, which was a small bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I think he was on 7 at half time. Or
Yeah.
8 even at half time, Richards. He was doing really well with it, and he could be injured now.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate. I think the quotes from Glasner were quite positive, but I think I don't think he'll feature in this next game due to the congestion that's coming up for Palace.
Thursday night, yeah, we'll be looking to see what. And the good thing is about that game is Glasner. There'll be another extra press conference. He'll be asked on Richards, and hopefully it will be. We just don't want to risk him, but he trains on Friday.
Absolutely. So very, very happy. I did say how Richards is probably the best value asset in the game for weeks now, and he's finally got his price rise up to 4.6. So it's good to see that the players are still ticking away nicely. Next, we have, of course, Mo Salah. Okay, let's speak about Mo Salah. So, it is mad because I'm doing so well, even though I have Salah in the team who's really, really not doing it for me. I just think, I wonder, imagine Salah had got a goal, I'd probably be in the top 50k, which is mental to think. So, we're doing so well with Salah. Therefore, I'm more than happy to hold on to him, and I still believe in him. I actually think Salah in recent weeks has looked a bit better from what we know Salah to be. I actually think the problem with Salah is Liverpool, not necessarily him. I was very, very surprised to see Isak start and Ekitike on the bench. Now, this is hindsight, but I feel like Ekitike is probably Liverpool's best attacker on current form. And to start Isak, who's just not hit the ground running this season at all. Again, I have no doubt about his quality. It's just I wonder if he'd prefer to build up his minutes off the bench first. But yeah, Cody Gakpo looked very bright, but Salah didn't have too much, to be honest. Again, a chance or two, if even. And the result didn't go my way, but I got away with it due to Erling Haaland, like you said, who missed a very big chance at the start of the game. Of course, the keeper ran out straight away, and he just scuffed it, unfortunately. And like you said, there could have definitely been 1 or 2 penalty shouts. I feel like one of them was definitely a penalty for Erling
one
Haaland.
of the 3. I mean, any of them could have been. A handball for me was a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's the one I'm saying.
Given.
Yeah, but lastly, I don't want to speak about Sarr too much again. I've not too much to say. Enzo Fernandez, again, I held faith in him, and he finally came up with the goods, 11-pointer.
Oh, well done for holding, man. I think a fair few sold him, which was strange ahead of Burnley, because that was always a good fixture. But yeah, man, Enzo owners deserve that. He's been dodging points for weeks for you guys, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, and he's finally done it, and I'm looking to get my way out now, and we'll speak about it in just a second. But in front of you, I have my my players and my team and their effective ownership versus some of the players I don't own. So if you look at some of the players I don't own, there are some massive ones here. Haaland, Semenyo, Mateta at 80% EO, 60% and 60%, which is crazy to think of it. Mbeumo is currently yet to play. He plays on Monday night, who is currently 50%, and we have Saka, who's just about to kick off in about 35 minutes. Before we speak about that Arsenal game, we also have Varea for that Arsenal defence. I believe that I saw a tweet from Tom Headley. He said that Arsenal's effective ownership at around 1 million rank is currently 80%. So it probably would do me good. A timber contribution, assuming that the discrepancy between 100k and 1 million is not too much in terms of Arsenal defence. But let's speak about this Arsenal game a small bit, Gianni. I want to know firstly where your head is at.
I don't want to say too much because so many are going to be listening to this podcast after the game. But in terms of your decision going to an Arsenal defender, I always felt with Gabriel going, the big one was, do you replace him with a Munoz or a Van Dijk? They were the 2 standout options, which I called out last week on Sky Sports News. And I had loads of comments. They tweeted it going, talk about Mr. Obvious. And it's like, well, yeah, it felt obvious. And I think it was a fair decision. Munoz or Van Dijk were the obvious. But I caveated it with, if you don't own an Arsenal defender or Raya and you're selling Gabriel, just go and buy another Arsenal defender. Make sure you've got still one of them, because I just feel like they're the best defence in the league. So I was happy to sell Gabriel, and I would have gone Munoz or Van Dijk. I did go Van Dijk. I had Triple Palace already. But But if you didn't have Raya, or you didn't have Timber, or you didn't have Saliba, then go buy another Arsenal defender, because long term they're just going to keep more clean sheets than everyone. They always do. It's Arteta.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually don't mind the Virgil transfer, to be honest. I actually think, it is sensible, to be honest, due to DEFCON. Again, a lot of people won't agree with that after seeing a 3-0 bashing at home to Forest. And I can understand that. But I don't still think that Virgil is a bad option. Again, but yeah, looking at my team again this game week. We have Bruno to play on Monday night. I'm quite hopeful of that. And just on the Spurs game, what I expect, I think it will be a tight and very feisty game. I think this will be one of those. Again, it's always one we look forward to, the North London derby. But score predictions, Gianni?
I'm going to go really tight. I think it's going to be a 1-0 Arsenal, 1-0 to the Arsenal, but it's going to be a low. I hope it's not, because I'm going to watch it and I want goals, but I think it's going to be a low scoring one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 1-1 if I'm guessing, and you better know I'll take that result and run. So let's
see. Wait, for the title, I mean, this is a season, just generally speaking, regardless of the result today, knowing Liverpool's drop off, knowing Man City are dropping points, like I don't think we expected them to lose to Newcastle. Knowing Chelsea are nowhere near good enough to be title challengers, in my opinion, and they're up to second. Like, if Arsenal do not win the league this season, like, boy, they're not going to have a better opportunity, because Liverpool will be better next year, because they will. City, again, you would expect the same. Like, these are teams in transition. Arsenal have to win it. It will be the biggest meltdown ever. Like, it will be the biggest collapse if they complete bottle jobs. It will be massive if they don't win it. They have to do it.
Yeah, we've seen it before. Again, I think with the quality in the league now, we look at the likes of Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Sunderland, Everton. They've really stepped it up a notch this time around, and it's making teams like Liverpool and City struggle even more than they would normally, because usually in those games they churn them out. But this time around, Arsenal just get results against anyone, particularly the bigger teams. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and you'd be very surprised not to see Arsenal win it. But there still is a good span of games to come. I'm trying to keep the hope and not get sickened. Anyway, let's move on from Spurs Arsenal and talk about some of my game week 13 dilemmas and transfer plans. So, if we quickly look at my team, let me run you through. Again, like I said, I have 3 free transfers and 0.0 in the bank. On goal, we've got Nick Pope, 3 at the back with Anderson, Mukiele and Timber. 5 in midfield, Fernandes, Anderson, Salah, Sarr, Enzo. 2 up top, João Pedro and Erling Haaland with the armband. On the bench, we've got Dubravka, Rodon, Marquis and Richards. So, no plans to currently play the bench boost. Again, like I said, I plan on doing that after the AFCON transfers. Again, I'll be able to move Salah around and put funds elsewhere. Again, really depends on when Salah decides, or not Salah, when Liverpool and Egypt decide that the time is to go for Salah. But for me, I'm actually moderately happy with my team going into game week 13. Again, I definitely need some transfers though. So the moves I'm looking to make, and I'm looking at, again, Gianni, let me know if you
I know you're getting rid of at least one Chelsea attacker, if not both.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to keep in mind though that they do have Leeds away next week, I believe, which is not an easy fixture by any means, but in the back of my mind somewhere, if Enzo can maybe get DEFCON or something, again, he's going to be involved if Chelsea are going to score, I imagine. But yeah, I think my current moves on paper would be looking to get rid of João Pedro, Enzo Fernandez, and potentially bringing up Mukiele up to someone who might play a bit more often.
Ooh, getting rid of Mukiele, mate. What's he done? What has Mukiele done? What has he done to you, Chai? Come on, Mukiele. He's your cheapest defender alongside Rodon. You can bench him most games, and he's got you big points. I'm offended.
Yeah, I'm a very cutthroat manager. If you've gotten points, it doesn't mean you're going to get it in the future from me, and I'm more than happy to get rid of
17-pointer.
Yeah, exactly. I take the points and run when I can. But let me run you through my decision making. Maybe it mightn't be Mukiele, and I might end
get
up
rid of Rodon if you want to get rid of a cheap defender.
Yeah, it might well be Rodon, but Richards, I think, is probably not going to be fit for this game again. I imagine he's probably going to be protected a small bit, even if he is fit. So therefore, I probably have to play Mukiele. I think Bournemouth will score, and I think the fixtures for Sunderland aren't the greatest.
No, they're not.
Yeah, so that's why I'd probably be looking to get rid of him. Now, he is great for DEFCON, of course, and that's why it probably makes sense equally to get rid of Rodon. I don't think he's necessarily going to come up with GA week in, week out, but just on the transfers. So, like I said, if I do João Pedro, and Enzo out, it frees up the funds a lot. A lot of people will be on free hit, and a lot of the players that they'll be looking at will be the likes of a Thiago this game week. Thiago, again, on the penalties, scored one, missed one, which was unfortunate for owners, but he looks good, and that Burnley at home fixture is great, of course. The other one, who you'll like, Gianni, is Jan Minta, 11-pointer. This game weekend, 2 assists and 2 bonus, so he looks very, very well and comes in at a really nice price point, only at 6.1 million. What would you do?
So good, man. He's amazing. Like, he could have had loads of assists yesterday. Like, in the first 10 minutes, he had already created, no, I think it was about 8 minutes in, he'd already created 2 reasonable chances. Like, probably one of them was seen as a big chance, I'm not sure, but 2 good chances in 10 minutes. Like, he is electric.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I think it's almost a no-brainer with the fixtures that Brighton have to come. I do quite like going to Minta, to be honest, and I held it off this game.
They always score, don't they? You always feel like they're going to score, Brighton. Doesn't matter who they're playing, you feel like they've got a goal in them because they're such an attacking team.
Always, 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 always. But yeah, like, I feel like, I'd be silly almost not to go to Minta. When I look at the other options, though, Gianni, that's where I get stuck. It's not necessarily that I love Jan Minta. Again, I think he is very, very good value. Again, how I am, though. I'll always be looking elsewhere. But I'm just looking now, if I brought in Thiago, how much money it would free up. So Thiago is currently 6.4 million. That would open up 1.7 from Pedro. And that would give me... or not 1.7, sorry. Let me put Enzo back in. That gives me 1.1 on top of Enzo to work around with.
Yeah. 1.1 on top of Enzo. How much is that?
Yeah, I'm just checking now.
Does it get you an Mbermo?
I don't think so, no. Hold on.
Mate, I must say, your hair is on point. I'm loving the trim.
Me? Really, yeah? It's been that long, you've been missing me. It gives me...
Come on, what does it get you then? Does it get you a Cunha?
7.8.
How much?
7.8, which is not enough to get Cunha. Just about missing. And it looks like
Although, if he does miss Monday night and there's rumours that he's injured, you could get a price drop on Cunha.
Oh, if that happens, I'd be doing it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, because if you know he's playing game week 13, but he's out 12, you're happy. Like, and he missed have you seen the Cunha story? He didn't turn up for some Christmas light switching on because of apparently a training ground injury, but it's said to be minor. So, yeah, eyes on that.
Yeah, and looking down from the 7.8 bracket, let me just pull up some of the options here.
Thiago, by the way, for this to work, it's obviously Thiago. If you are going to move, you might want to move tonight. I think I'm going to check now on Live FPL associated with Fantasy Football Scout, and they use all the live FPL stuff. I'm just going to check. I think is Thiago. Yeah, Thiago's going up tonight.
Yeah, I actually don't want Thiago, I'll be honest.
So is Welbeck. Why don't you go, instead of Minter, go Welbeck?
I do love Welbeck. Did you see his finish, by the way? What a goal.
Oh, mate. I mean, what a cross from Minter, but the finish. They didn't have a single big chance yesterday, Brighton, but they still scored 2 goals because when you've got a quality finisher like Welbeck, he'll score goals from low XG chances, and that was so good.
Yeah, it was amazing. The other permutation in this team, Gianni, again, I want to know what you think about this. I've also looked at going to a better striker and a worse midfielder, right? So before the game week ever kicked off, one of the moves I was making for next week would have been Hugo Ekitike in and Reinders in. Now, that doesn't look well after Ekitike was benched and Reinders was benched, but the other permutation you could do would be Jean-Philippe Mateta with United at home, and then you can still get Jan Minta. So... I think
But you've already got Ismail Assar. Do you want the Palace double up for that one? I've got the Palace double up, and it's been terrible. I don't know how Ismail Assar has dodged so many points. But
Same
we've
with
been unlucky
Mateta, to be honest. Again, Mateta's just been really poor at finishing.
Yeah, he has.
He gets the chances galore, like, and I'm always for that. If you're telling me a player is going to get chances, I'll always back him over a spell of games. And again, Palace's fixtures look good.
Yeah. I reckon you could definitely go Mateta. It's just more, if you're looking to be a little bit different, then Mateta is going back towards the template, I guess. A lot of managers around you will own Mateta.
Yeah, I do get that. But on a free hit where I think a lot of managers would be at, I don't think they'll have Mateta.
Oh, true. I mean, I'm a Mateta owner who's free hitting, and yeah, I'm dropping all Palace and Man United players out. It's risky, but that game could be 3-3. And you go, damn, I want Mbermo, Sarr, and Mateta still, but I've just got rid of all of them.
Exactly.
And I think on free hit, you probably just have to go all in and back against that fixture, even though it could go and be a thriller, and hope it's more of a 0-0 or a 1-1 or a 1-0.
Another man that's getting lots of chances. And before the game week started, I heard a lot of people, being not impressed by him. Again, he's only 7.4 million. And I'm wondering, do you know who I'm going to say? But it's Nick Voltemade. And I don't understand because he's a man getting many, many chances. I don't know if
he looked really good yesterday. What a game. I thought he was brilliant.
He was really good, and he's getting so many chances. Again, Jacob Murphy has some across on him, of course. And the fullbacks in Timo Livramento and also Hall are back, and they're phenomenal for getting service into the box. So I just wonder, with the fixtures...
They're brilliant crosses, those two.
Exactly.
And finally back fit.
They've got Everton, Tottenham, Burnley, Sunderland, and Chelsea next. I just wonder.
I don't mind that,
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
And mate, as long as Gordon's injured, you get penalties too.
Exactly.
You love penalties.
You know me, Gianni, and it is very appealing, and that lets me.
I said on the debrief this morning, people are selling Voltemade. I don't know why.
Exactly.
That was my line on Newcastle. Like, they look really good.
It doesn't make sense to me. I think he's been great as long as the minutes are going to be there. Again, if I decide to go from João Pedro down to Voltemade, it actually lets me use 6.8 million in the bank to pick a midfielder. It's enough to hold on to Enzo if I wanted to, of course, and hold him for that Leeds game. Maybe he might pick up Defcon in the Arsenal game. I'm unsure of that personally, but it just feels like everything Chelsea are doing, Enzo is a big.
He's our best player.
Team. Exactly, for sure, and also
I'd be. João Pedro, I'd get rid of in a heartbeat because you don't get the 90 minutes from João Pedro either. And with Chelsea's fixtures, we are going to see after. So it's Chelsea's schedule, right? I've just been looking at it in more detail earlier. It's Barcelona, massive game. Then it's Arsenal, 2 huge games, which will bring us to 3 games in a week. You expect in those games, João Pedro and Delap will start. After that, it's Leeds and then Bournemouth, are like 2 away games. One of those football matches, if not like Mark Guiu's going to start instead of Delap, and João Pedro will miss, and probably Buonanotte comes in. Like, Maresca's very big on rotation, and he's happy to go to a Burnley. You saw it yesterday. He started Gittins. He started Andre Santos. He'll go to a Leeds, and he'll start Mark Guiu and Buonanotte, no problem at all. Like, I would get rid of João Pedro straight away. But Enzo is the guy that can get all the minutes. He might miss a game, but he might not. And Mark Guiu, just so you know, guys, will start. I'm pretty confident on this. If he doesn't start in 14 versus Leeds, he starts 15 versus Bournemouth, and he'll be in my 11 that week.
Maybe it's a week where I'll be looking to bench boost, perhaps in game week 15. If we just quote you on that, okay, maybe I'm lying.
If he doesn't play versus Leeds in 14, and he hasn't played versus Barcelona, which we don't assume he will, or against Arsenal, he has to play because Delap can't play like 3 times a week on 2 consecutive weeks. That's just not going to happen. And Mark Guiu, when he came on yesterday, was so good. That second goal from Enzo was all Mark Guiu's good work. Mark Guiu did more in 20 minutes than Delap did all game, some might argue.
Yeah, game week 15 is not the week to bench boost for me. I've got Dubravka away at Newcastle, Rodon at home to Liverpool, Mukiele away to City, and Marquis.
Ouch. What about 14?
14, how are we looking for 14? 14
I think Guiu starts Leeds 14. That would be my bet now, but I'll say nearer the time we'll be able to give it a better gauge.
14 is probably even worse. We've got Mukiele away to Liverpool, Rodon at home to Chelsea, Dubravka at home to Palace, and Guy with Leeds. That's why I was speaking about a small bit of getting rid of Mukiele.
You'll get rid of Mukiele though.
Yeah. Exactly, that's what I was saying.
And mate, I don't mind Rodon at home to Chelsea. He'll get Defcon, and Dubravka at home to Palace. If you look at all of Burnley's good results this year, it's been at home. They beat Sunderland at home, Burnley, and I think they beat Leeds at home. They tend to beat the teams around them at home. I know Palace are not a team around them, but they might give them a game.
Yeah, I agree. If it's ever going to happen. Just on, again, speaking of my own bench boost, it is a small bit riskier holding on to it for so long, but with the transfer we're getting in 16, and the transfers I have to use in 15, I am kind of confident that I'll get away with somewhat of a decent bench boost, and I'm more than happy to have a bit more flexibility going through this Christmas period. I actually wouldn't want too many dead spots or people that I couldn't hang my head on or hat on to play a few games. So in game week 18, again, I don't like to look this far down the line, but 6 game weeks is only a month's time, I believe, with how many games we have to play. The bench looks like Rodon with Sunderland away, Mukiele with Leeds at home, and Dubravka with Everton at home. And then that forward spot, I imagine, will be topped up after I sell Salah in 16. So I don't mind that at all. Looking at Nick Voldemade away to Everton this particular game week, and doing Enzo to a Yankuba Minta. I still really like Minta if I want Voldemade. It actually frees up 0.7 in the bank to move on to Chris Richards if I'm not going to do a Mukiele or a Roden if I want to look at holding on to him longer term. And zero point 0.7 on Richards would give me 5.2, I believe, which is enough for a Senesi, which is not necessarily a pick that I would be looking at. But there are a few options that I could go to, which one of them is Hall for Newcastle, of course. So I think looked quite good versus City, considering he's not had too much game time.
Yeah, mate, he's such a good player. The problem with Newcastle fullbacks is they're still a little bit. I mean, they're both dropped in price. Livramento's 4.9, I think Hall's like 5.2. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to pay 5 or under. So Livramento maybe for the price, but Hall is great. I had him a lot last year. Malik Chow is 4.9. He was so good against Haaland, I thought. He's back in the Germany squad. Newcastle are a team that will always keep cleans.
Yeah, and then the other obvious one is, of course, Lacroix. Going from Richards to Lacroix, which you'd argue is probably a better asset, but a small bit more expensive.
He got his DEFCON taken off him yesterday, didn't he, Lacroix? He ended the game on 10, and all Palace defenders, all 5 of them, got between 7 and 9 in the end. But I feel like I feel like you may as well just stay on Richards there. Like,
you think so? Do you think Richards will play this next game?
I think we'll find out. I think Glasner will probably tell us, and I think Thursday's squad will reveal a lot. Like, he might be on the bench on Thursday, and then you're like, oh, he's fit enough. You'll see if he's trained. There'll be an extra press conference. Yeah, I mean, he's in my team, and I'm really happy with Richards. But obviously, I'm free hit, so it does help that narrative of I'm sure he'll be fine the week after. But yeah, was it hamstring?
Yeah,
It said hamstring.
and also, yeah, it was the week before, or 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. He also was a doubt for that game as well. So
True.
I just feel like there's Glasner will probably want to rotate a small. Not that he can again. You've got Canva, I believe it is, as an alternative, was 4.5 million. Yeah, but the other option again, like I said, is Lacroix. If I wanted to, again, just play a bit more safe. He's going to play. Whether or not he'll miss a game or two going through the busy congestion, I'm unsure.
He's pretty robust, Lacroix, and he's the guy
yeah.
that always plays. You can't get the money from a Nos, can you? Because I did watch it like yesterday, and you see the points. And I started the season with him. I wildcarded him out in game week 7. And he went and scored, and then he got 2 assists the week after. He got 3 returns in 2 games when I sold him. But I do think you do get the extra with Munoz. It is worth spending the extra. He's so good. He's the only defender in the game that effectively plays as a wide forward, and you're just going to get open play, goals and assists like with him than any other.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think to pick out a bunch if I could afford it would be Munoz, but I just can't stretch it, I don't think. There's one other option, Gianni, that I am looking towards.
Go on.
And you won't like this one. Matthias de Ligt at 5 million. Now,
Whoa.
some of his fixtures include the likes of Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Villa, and Newcastle.
You've watched United defend, right?
They look a bit more solid this time around, I feel, come game week 12. I just feel like with the 1 games a week, Gianni, I don't want to be looking
that's
towards...
massive for them. They get a full week on the training ground, don't they? It's huge.
Exactly.
Same Bournemouth and United, massive beneficiaries this season.
And it's why I quite like him, to be honest. And I feel like he's been United's best player this season if you're not looking at Brian and Mbeumo. So, a fan of it, but 5 million might just be a small bit too expensive for me. Other than that, we have shouts for an O'Reilly. Again, just the fixtures for City, Leeds, Fulham, Sunderland. How do you feel on O'Reilly, Gianni? I know there are a lot of questions.
I just know Aït-Nouri's going to get a game or 2 before AFCON. He has to, surely. He was great. Again, I thought O'Reilly's average position and the way he played against Newcastle, he's a threat in the opposition box. He's always in the number 8 role. But I don't trust Pep during fixture congestion on players that aren't nailed. And I wouldn't say he's absolutely nailed. We can't forget Ake can come in and play a game. He could play Gvardiol left back and play Stones and Diaz centre back. Like, there's always that fear with Pep. And that's not to say I'm never going to buy Man City players, but I have to buy them when I know they're completely nailed. Like right now, a player like Doku has gone from being a big risk to actually you'd think he's pretty nailed. He starts every game. I know Riley has been, but the plan is, I'm sure, Aït-Nouri long term. Like they've spent that money on him. O'Reilly is a midfielder by trade. At left back, I expect Aït-Nouri to get a game or 2 before AFCON. But you could just see him waiting, and he plays the EFL Cup game before AFCON. That could happen too. I might free hit O'Reilly in. I'm not sure yet, but I might need a team leak to do so.
Yeah, I like that. I think on free hit, I'd be very, very tempted.
I'm
Um,
currently on Foden, Doku, and Haaland. I'm going triple attack. And again, I feel like Foden and Doku should start, but let's see their minutes on Tuesday night. The benefit of predicting Man City is we do get to see them on Tuesday against Leverkusen. And if you see early subs, or you see Foden rested, or Doku rested, or even O'Reilly rested, like that makes the decision to then pick them easier, I'd have thought. Um, but yeah, you got to go all out for Man City on free hit.
yeah, I don't know how
And
Foden has
Foden and
not
Doku,
got.
mate, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, I don't know how Foden's not returned. Again, in that Newcastle game, he had big chances.
Man.
He probably should have scored. Again, he's one
Yeah.
that me and you are usually quite high on. So,
How did he miss that with his left foot? He's playing really well, Foden, though. It has to be said. He is playing well. We see his FPL returns and just assume he's not playing well. If you watch him, you'll be going, yeah, Foden is due. And I fancy him versus Leeds. Like he could go and hit a double-digit score quite comfortably.
Absolutely, you wouldn't be surprised at all. And as much as City are reliant on Haaland, and you would expect Haaland to continue it, someone is going to start picking up goals for City if it's not Haaland.
Yeah.
They're not playing poorly at all. They're playing quite well. So it's only a matter of time, and just not converted just yet. One of the other routes to my team, lastly, Gianni, before we finish up, we have 4 minutes again. We'll talk about this, and then we will answer a question or two. FPL Toff is in chat, and he's a part of the O'Reilly fan club. The other route I could take would be doing João Pedro down to Voldemade, Enzo to a 5.5, and Richards to Guardiola. Putting a bit more funds in the back. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, who would your 5.5 be? Because you've already got the best one in the game in Anderson. There's
Yeah.
not another Anderson out there, is there? Or is there? I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, Guardiola's a great pick.
That's what I was looking at. I was wondering, is there another Anderson in the game? And I can't quite find one. The other one is Xhaka, but for me, I think I'd rather not go there. The one I would have loved to gone for would have been 5.4 Reinders. Again, we know how good of a player he is. It's just with rotation in City, the fixtures are that good as well, so you expect him to miss out a game or two. But I can't do it, can I, Jenny?
I don't think he can, and I think he probably starts versus Leverkusen, which will make it harder for you as well. Like Reinders is, people have gone, oh, Reinders was rubbish pick. He was so good at the start of the season, not anymore. Reinders is still, I think, going to start at least 50% of the Premier League games between now and the end of the season. But he's somewhere between that 50 and 75%, which is just not worth. You need to be picking players that are 75% plus in terms of starts, starting 3 every 4 if they come with the upside of a City player. And we're not quite sure where Reinders fits. Like, I think it's more than half, but I couldn't say with confidence that he starts 3 and 4 unless you get injuries to the likes of Bernardo Silva, who Pep loves. So yeah, man, it's probably a tad risky. But if he goes and gets a hat trick on Tuesday night, then you pick him, right?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? Let's see. Let's answer 2 questions before we finish up. We have one from Rob Staff. He says, are Villa and Forest players worth looking at now, Johnny?
Hey, on free hit they are. I don't know if they are. I think Forest defence, long term, great. They're expensive though. Sales is 4.7. I'm probably going Ndoye at 5.4. Forest winger, first choice for Dyche on free hit. And then Villa, look, Morgan Rogers is the player, isn't he? Like, he's the only player really you're picking at Villa, I'd have thought. So yeah, man, like there's a couple there. But I do think long term, Sean Dyche keeps clean sheets, and Forest defence will be very good again.
I agree with that. And just the last question before we round up, we have from Deben. He says, should I replace Gabriel with Timber, Calafiori, or Saliba? Who would your pick of the bunch be? Assuming, obviously, I feel like Timber is probably the best option. But again, they come at different price points, and I want you to consider that, Jenny. Who would you go for?
Just wait for Gabriel news because you would probably get it on Wednesday. If he's out for 2 months, go Hincape. Like he's the cheapest, and I think he's a bit of an all-action hero from what I've heard. And if he is, he's going to be great for DEFCON. Just see the game today and look at the DEFCON. But I think he's going to be one that wins a lot of duels and makes a lot of clearances. So just also look who Arsenal are using for their target at set pieces. Calafiori could become the Gabriel target at set pieces. Saliba could become the target. I'd look to see, one, how Hincape plays and his numbers, but 2, who is the target at set pieces. And we don't know the answer to that as we record this just before Arsenal play.
Yeah, so we'll round it up there, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, lastly, to recap, what I'm likely to do is get rid of João Pedro and Enzo. The question is to who. If I were to say right now, Jan Minta and Nick Volomade would be the pick out a bunch for me. Again, we do have a lot of football to play midweek, and then we'll be right back into another deadline. So if you do enjoy the content, of course, do check out Gianni at Gianni on YouTube and me at FPL Chai. Enjoy the game, lads. North London Derby. Do not comment when the game is over because I'm not looking forward to that. Gianni, anything left to say?
No, mate, good luck. And guys, we will see you in Game Week 13.
Beautiful, Gianni.